Hello, everybody. This is Hondo Carpenter, your Las Vegas Raiders beat writer on SI and the host of the Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast. We're going to do something today that we have never done before, but I'm super excited about it, and I think all of you will be also. If you've covered the Raiders or followed the Raiders for any amount of time, you know Maxx Crosby's not just a guy I cover, he's a personal friend. I got to know him his first day in college. And I'll never forget standing there at Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti and listening to Herb Haygood and Chuck Bulla and Coach Creighton and all of them who are friends of mine. And Herb Haygood telling me that guy over there has a chance to be an all pro in the NFL. He just doesn't know it yet. And got to meet Max that day and begin to build a friendship with him. And one of the things that I have always loved about Max is his passion, the way that he lives his life. He just knows one gear and it's all out. I can tell you, as a guy that's been a journalist for decades, he is one of only a few players who live at a level of excellence in practice in their life the way they do in the games. And I've said this to you before. He reminds me of Magic, Kobe, and Michael. Those are the three people like him that are unicorns. And one of the things that he started with his beautiful wife, Rachel, is the Maxx Crosby Foundation, of which, in the interest of full disclosure, I don't get paid to promote this. In fact, Shannon and I have written them checks for significant amount of money. We support the foundation. We personally support it. First, because Max is a friend, but secondly, we support it because wanting to see teens and young people be sober is an issue that hits closely to Shannon and I's heart. And so we support this foundation. And what better than in the mini buy on a Monday than to take a minute and talk about the Maxx Crosby Foundation? And I wanted to bring in the guy that really oversees it. Obviously, it's Max and Rachel's foundation, but he is the guy that really drives it and is such a key contributor to it. And that's Bert Trembley. And Bert, thanks for joining me today, my friend. I'm so excited about this conversation. I appreciate you spending time with me today.
Well, thanks for having me on, Hondo. I really appreciate it. I love talking about the Maxx Crosby Foundation. I love what we get to do in the community. I love working with Max and Rachel. Couldn't find two better people to work with, especially about something that they're both so passionate about.
You know, I say to people all the time, because they'll say to me, man, Max is his entire life is football. No, Max loves the game. He's dedicated to being a champion. And one of the things that, and I've having known Max so long, Bert, is there isn't a lot of room in his life for a lot of things. So if you get a spot in his life, he's going to give you championship ever, whether it's being a husband, a father, a foundation. He doesn't let his life, he knows how to say no. And the interesting story, I'll let you tell it, and then I'll fill in some gaps from my perspective. But Max and Rachel came to grips with his desire and his need to become sober. And Max did it for all of the right reasons. He didn't get it because Rachel said, I'm going to leave you or you're a terrible person. It was, hey, I love you. And Max wanted to do it for his family and for himself. But tell the story of how that came about in the foundation. Would you, Bert? I want everybody to hear it.
Sure, and the best person really to tell that story is Rachel. In fact, the NFL last December came. They sent a video crew down to Las Vegas, and myself and Rachel, and of course we went to the facility because Max was there, always working out. But they spent a little time with us, and each of them told their story behind where he is today, behind the Maxx Crosby Foundation, the motivation for it. And she'll tell you that they both will. And if you watch that clip, it's still circulating actually online. But it came to a point in Max's life where a change needed to be made, and she actually did leave. And so he got his stuff together and decided to enter rehab. And said enough's
Can I
enough.
can I can I can I clarify one thing though? I want everyone to
Sure.
understand the clarification of my remarks. She wasn't doing this from a manipulative standpoint.
Right.
And that's what I meant by that. It was doing it from Max. I love you, Max. This is about you. It's not about football. It was about her, the man. That's what I meant about the manipulative. It was an awesome love story. It wasn't a manipulative story. Maybe I should have used
Yes.
those terms more. Would you agree with that?
100% agreed with that. It was very emotional. It still is to this day for her, And like I said, you would see on that clip just how deeply it affected her. But to see where he is today and to see their relationship where it is today, of course, they have Ella, their daughter, and you can see him before the games, on the sideline with both of them, and of course, watch his social media, and you can see just what his family means to him. But yeah, back in that was 2019, so 2020 is when he decided that that was it. And he'll tell the story of, I thought I was going to go away for about a month. This was in March of that year. COVID had just hit. That's when it was. And, he went off to California and spent that month there. Thought he was going to be just about done. They said, nope, you're going to stay pretty much all the way until the next season. And so, but he said it was the best thing that he's went through, the best decision he's ever made. And he's fully dedicated to that. And you know what kind of dedication Maxx Crosby has. When he focuses on something, it's a straight lane, and he doesn't deviate from that at all. And it doesn't matter if it's season or off season. I've never seen somebody dedicated to their workouts like him. I mean, all of NFL players make it to this level because of their drive and their talent and their passion. But he takes it to a whole nother level. And you mentioned the Michael Jordans of the universe, and he's absolutely in that. And you can tell by his new gym that he just built and the murals on the wall and the tattoos on his body that those are the people that he models himself after. And once he did get sober, um, he did it for himself, he did it for his family, but now he's channeling that and using it for the community. He loves the Las Vegas community. We've done a lot already in a short period of time here in the Las Vegas community. He loves Texas, where he's from, and he loves Eastern Michigan, where he went to school, you mentioned. And so we get to do a lot of really cool things. But he wants to use his story. He doesn't hide from it. He doesn't shy away from it. He wants to use that to help other people. And a lot of people will focus on kids, which is awesome, and Max does. But it doesn't just stop there. I mean, he wants to help anybody and everybody who has been, inflicted with this disease of alcoholism.
One of the things that I would explain to all of you that I have been so impressed with, I've written about it, but one of the things that has impressed me most about Rachel is when I talk about not coming at a manipulative standpoint, she was fighting Max for Max. And she was willing to say, hey, I'm willing to go through this with you, but you got to do this, because she was willing to fight him for him. And one of the things that I would tell all of you about this foundation, and I'm not just a media guy giving them an interview. My wife and I write checks. Bert will tell you if that's truthful or not.
Yep.
We support it because it is one thing to go up and say, you have to do this or you're losing this. It's another to say, you have to do this and I'm willing to help you. And this foundation does that. This foundation isn't just there to make the Crosbys look philanthropic. This foundation is there because they want to help people. I think that's a huge difference and a huge part that sets this foundation apart. Do you think I'm wrong, Bert?
No, no, not wrong at all. And Max had told me about, your conversations and why this foundation and its mission, mean a lot to you, Hondo, and your wife. And, of course, I can absolutely, so I see all the donations that come through. And so I absolutely know that you've been a very generous supporter, and can't tell you how much we appreciate that. And also just having us on, the show, because people, not everybody knows about the Maxx Crosby Foundation. And so our mission is to help amplify that. And so we've got a great social media presence. Max will talk about the Maxx Crosby Foundation. He's a two-time Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Raiders. And so our mission gets amplified through that as well. We're hoping, for number three, and for him to continue on. And one day, his mission is to win a Super Bowl. His mission is to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's got these on-field goals. My goal, from my standpoint, is that Walter Payton Man of the Year for him. I would go be over the moon for that, for he and for Rachel and for our whole team. They have a great board. His agent and one of his best friends, CJ LeBoy's on the board. He's got just a great team around him, Team Max and Team Crosby, and they work very closely with Rachel and Max every single day. We're always all of us talking. We get tons of grant applications that come in all the time, and so we really have to look at those hard, sift through those, get all the information to the board, and they'll vote on what grants we can give out based on how much money we have in the bank. So our fundraising is important, because we have to have that money to be able to support groups and organizations. And one of those, in fact, is called Hope for the City. It started out as a food bank in Henderson and has really grown into something special. And you guys might have seen clips and stuff from last Christmas where Max and Rachel were at a like a Christmas lights drive-through, and they were handing out Maxx Crosby Foundation footballs to kids, and you can see Max in there high-fiving kids and things like that. That was Hope for the City, and we've grown our support for them. And so tonight, which is Monday, we actually have a press conference. The governor of the state is going to be there, the mayor of Henderson, several other dignitaries, and we're going to be there, and they're going to be thanking the Maxx Crosby Foundation for our support and expanding what they're able to do, which was already great, and hopefully they get to do even more now with our support.
Now, let me just say this right up front, because someone's going to say, oh, the foundation paid Hondo. Nope, they didn't. I asked them. In fact, Max and I were talking about it in the locker room, and I said to him, you know what, I want to do something about that. And he goes, do it. He goes, that'd be great. And so I want to make that clear. And I write checks, so it costs me, but it doesn't cost me in a negative way. I'm glad to do it. But I'm going to encourage all of you at the end of the year coming, you can write a check. You can it's a tax deductible donation, but I encourage you, write a check, become a supporter. This is bigger than football. You know, Maxx Crosby is going to be known as a football player, but I guarantee you, as someone who considers him a personal friend, this is a something that is as deep to him and as important to him is seeing as many people take that journey to sobriety. And this is your chance to be a teammate. How many of you never got a chance to put up a football helmet, or maybe the only football you ever played was on Madden? But this is now your chance to become a teammate with Max, to say, hey, Max, I'm with you, I'm on the team, and do that. Now, they have a huge event every single year that, trust me, you want to go to this. It's worth it. It's awesome. It'd be a great opportunity for you to meet Max and Rachel, but it's a wonderful gala evening. It's just awesome. Would you talk about that, please, Bert?
Absolutely. So, we started the foundation right about 2 years ago from right now, towards the end of 2023. So our first event, our first fundraising event, took place that next March. And of course, a lot of people know how close Max is with Dana White of UFC. And so the UFC hosted our first event, an evening with Maxx Crosby, and it was at the UFC Apex, and which it was pretty awesome. I mean, a completely unique type of venue for a gala. We had about 250 people there for year one, which was unbelievable. The community really rallied around him. Dana was there. We honored him. We have a community MVP that's presented every year by the Maxx Crosby Foundation, somebody that does a lot for their community. And year one was a great fit with Dana being at the UFC Apex. Our stage was the Octagon there. We had tables all throughout. We had a bunch of his teammates. We had a speed painter, a bunch of fun things, live auction, silent auction, and it was a huge success for a first year fundraiser. It was off the charts. We had a lot of generous people there, and so that kind of kicked things off. And then last year, after the season, again in March, we had our second annual An Evening with Maxx Crosby Gala, and this one we did at Allegiant Stadium, and that was neat. That was a completely different feel from year one. We were up on the Coors Light landing around the torch. We had the stage up there, but the background is the stadium. Maxx Crosby Foundation logos all throughout, videos of him playing, videos of him in the community. Mark Davis was our honoree last year as the community MVP. And so we got to honor him. He spoke. He got up there and just said some wonderful things about Max as a person. I mean, we all know how Mark Davis feels about him as a player, but he came up there and talked a lot about Max and Rachel and what they mean to the Vegas community. And it was a really neat night. Once again, a lot of things going on. We had the drum bots there. We had a really cool safe that was donated, one of this giant 6 foot safe with Maxx Crosby Foundation logos on it, and all the bells and whistles. And that we actually sold two of those in the live auction. Just a really fun night. And just the people that were there, a bunch of teammates came to support Max. So that always adds to the kind of the star appeal of the evening. He did his part of his he's got a podcast, The Rush, that he did partially there that night too. So just a lot of fun. And so the third one will be coming up. We don't know a date or venue quite yet, but probably going to be about mid-March. We'll put stuff out on social media, be links on our website, to be able to go there and buy a ticket, buy a table, show your support, for Max, just make a donation, whatever it takes, because all of our money goes to the community. And you mentioned, kids, here in Las Vegas and the addiction stuff. It's both. We try to help out organizations that focus on the preventative side as well as the treatment side. So there's two pieces there. And so, Max, when somebody reaches out to him, he puts me in contact right away. And, the Hondo, I get to see, we have on our website, people can submit an email. Okay. And I see all those. And the amount of stories that come through some are just heartbreaking, some are inspirational. But so many stories come through, but they all have one tie, and that's that they love Max and what Max stands for. And they thank him for, some people never met him before, but they heard his story, they saw him speak about it, and they say that changed my life, or that saved my life, or that pushed me in a different direction. It's really really cool to see stories, like that. And it's also heartbreaking to see how many people are still struggling, no matter what kind of help they try to get.
I got to tell you all a story. So last year I was in New Orleans at the Super Bowl, and or actually, no, yeah, it was in New Orleans last year. Okay, I was in New Orleans. I think it was. I know the Raiders played there in the Super Bowl, but I was down in New Orleans, and I met a guy came up to me and was a Raider fan, and I was just out in the community, lived in New Orleans, and he told me this story about him. He was a very bad alcoholic, and his wife played for him a video of Max talking about his journey to sobriety.
Wow.
And she just basically said to him, "Come on, babe, you got to do this for your family." And that was just another life that Max touched that he'll never even know about. And as men, a lot of us, not all, but a lot, we like to sweep our weaknesses away. Okay, we'll deal with it. Just don't tell anybody. And Max did the brave thing and came out and say, "No, no, I'm not going to sweep it away. I want everyone to know that they can be better." And Bert, I have said this before, and I don't mind saying it again. When you look at Rachel, she's beautiful, could be a runway model, but she is as tough as Max. Max married the female toughness equivalent of Max. Am I right or wrong? Because I that's true. She
No
doesn't. She's not
question.
all tatted up. She's not. She looks elegant, but she's tough as nails.
Oh, and you have to be if you're going to be Max's wife, and she absolutely is. She also was an athlete at Eastern Michigan. That's how they met. And
Yep.
oh yeah, she's tough. And like I said, just two wonderful people to work with. But they've got a great team around them, a very tough team that don't let people get to Max in a negative way. And so he's certainly got the best team possible around him, led by his wife.
100% agree. All right, everybody. So I'm going to do this. Bert didn't know this. Bert didn't ask me to do this. Max didn't. I'm doing it by my own choice. Get on Maxx Crosby Foundation and go to the website. Make a donation. Make a donation. And just say, you know what? I do one every year. My wife and I do in our own heart. We're doing it in memory of somebody that didn't win that battle. And make a donation. Maybe your kids, none of them struggle with sobriety. Great. Then do it just as a Thanksgiving. Say, you know what? I'm so thankful none of my kids are dealing with that. I'm going to make this donation. Maybe sobriety's affected your family. You know what? I have a niece or a nephew or a cousin. I'm going to make a donation to help somebody else's if they didn't make that battle. But I'm encouraging you. The end of the year is coming, and it's all we understand so much, and we love giving gifts. I love Christmas. But you know what? Sometimes it's good that time of year to give, to give. And I'm encouraging you to do that. I'm asking you to do it. I can tell you this. I know Maxx Crosby. I know him well. Consider him a friend. And him and Rachel and the people he has running his foundation like Bert, they are people of integrity. They're people of character. They look at every dime that gets spent. How careful can we be? Are we getting every piece of blood out of this turnip because we want to make sure we're making a difference? You won't find a better organization. Bert, tell them the website, how to give. Would you do all that, please?
Absolutely. MaxCrosbyFoundation.org. And you can read our story there, our mission statement, who we're helping, and there's a donate link right there. If you'd like to send a check, there's an address. And if you'd like to send in a message, there's a link to do that as well. It'll reach us. And one thing I was going to also mention too, Hondo, is the foundation has two primary missions. First and foremost, because of Max's story, is obviously the sobriety part. But he and Rachel are very passionate about animal rescue. They started way back when. Max tells the story when he's talking at his gala. They started with a pit bull, and then one became another one, two, and then three. And so they personally love the animal rescue. For them, it's pit bulls, but they love all types of animal rescue. And we've supported some groups in Las Vegas and Michigan and elsewhere in terms of supporting groups that do animal rescue, and we're going to continue to do so because it means so much to them.
Oh, and that's where I wanted to end today because a lot of people, you did a good job. You should go into media because you segued great into my subject. Was I wanted to talk about the animal rescue part because it is something that's tragic. I tell people if you're going to go get a puppy at Christmas, great. Just make sure you're making a commitment to that puppy for its lifetime.
Yep,
I
that's
don't
right.
understand people that get a dog and then get mad because it barks. It's a dog.
Right.
And talk about that side. I tell people all the time it is fair to judge Max as the imposing, awesome, tough defender. That's real. But those of us that all know him also know the gentle side with Ella and Rachel
Hmm.
and with his animals. And that's important to him. And I think it should be, and it's important to me as well. Would you talk about that side of him as well, please, Bert?
Absolutely, Hondo. Yeah, as I mentioned, they started it personally. They continue to do so. They're growing their family. They have Ella, but of course they have the dogs too, and they continue to help where needed. But just like I said, follow him on social media. You'll see all the videos he puts out of him in the backyard playing with the dogs and or having Ella go down the slides and that kind of thing. But the animal rescue, we work with some really good groups here in Las Vegas and Henderson, and so. We're going to continue to do that. It just means so much to them. They see the stories. They see the stories on the news of animals being abused or animals being, euthanized because there's just not enough adoptions going on or enough nonprofits that are helping in that realm. So we're going to continue to do that. And I think that we've already made a difference. I would certainly hope so. But we're going to continue to do that. So again, we have the animal adoption and rescue side as well as the sobriety and the treatment side of addiction.
So make sure you check it out. Tell them the website, please, Bert.
MaxCrosbyFoundation.org.
Go check it out today. Make a donation. You may say, well, Hondo, I can't afford to write a check for thousands of dollars. Every dime counts when you're with an organization where every dime counts. This is how I would express it to all of you. Maxx Crosby Foundation, and I don't speak for them, I'm just a donor. But the Maxx Crosby Foundation counts every penny because every penny counts. And so, what I would challenge you, you're not going to give to a better one. You're not going to make a bigger difference, whether it's from animals to people. Invest in those things. Make this Thanksgiving season truly a time to give thanks. Bert, you're one of the best. Thank you for your help with my friends. And you do such a great job at the foundation. I appreciate you, brother.
Hondo, thanks again for having me on today. I really appreciate it. And for everybody, make sure you follow us on social media as well. We've got X, we've got Instagram, so we're keeping people posted on what we're doing, what's coming
Tell them the
up.
handles. Tell them the handles.
Yeah, Maxx Crosby Foundation. Real simple. Just go to those. On X, it's actually Crosby Max. Yeah, Crosby Max. So follow us there. You'll be able to see all the things we have coming up. We're going to be doing a Christmas items for kids. We've been working really closely with the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Nevada. We did a back to school giveaway with them, and we'll have a Christmas shopping giveaway coming up as well.
Check it out, everybody. I do. Shannon does. Our family does. Check it out. You won't regret it. Thanks, everybody, again for joining us today.